Hello everybody, I'm bringing you my first Mechwarrior Online video. Today I'll be going over some of the basic stuff of Mechwarrior, since this is my first video and not everybody knows the jargon and lore of this game. I'll be piloting this summoner. It's a clan mech, heavy, 70 tons. You can see I've got it painted up in sort of a American military camouflage. It's got a PPC on one arm and an LBX-10 on the other and an SRM-6 in the top. And basically what that means is PPC stands for Particle Production Cannon. It is a weapon that fires a stream of particles that causes an electrical type effect when it hits the target. The LBX is basically a mech-sized shotgun. Fires a spray of pellets that's very good to rip off parts of the mech when the armor is reduced to 0. The SRMs are actually pretty good for that as well, and they do a decent amount of damage just up front. The mech lab here, I'll show you how I've basically got it loaded out, with the PPC in one arm, LBX-10 in the other arm with all of its ammunition, and the SRM-6. SRM, by the way, stands for Short Range Missile. The LRMs are for Long Range Missiles. I actually do not use LRMs as I find them kind of boring to use, as you just kind of sit in the back and lob missiles over a hill or whatever. And the LBX is, again, a mech-sized shotgun. It fires a spray of bullets, does 10 damage, which is 1 damage per pellet that it fires. And this is pretty much the mech I'll be taking out into the field. If you have any other questions, put it in the links below. Put it in the comments below. Links below. As you can see, I load out my weapons with just one weapon per button. So, and oftentimes I fire the LBX and the PPC together. This particular mech is the Summoner D variant. I have the Summoner Prime variant as well as the Summoner B variant. The Summoner B variant is considered to be the best one, as the quirks it gets on the turret or on the chest piece are better. But I have all three of these mechs with the same loadout: PPC, LBX-10, SRM-6. I found this to be pretty much the best kind of loadout you can get. And we'll go ahead and take this mech out into the field, and I'll see you on the other side. Oh, actually, before we do that, I probably should talk about the quirks. Quirks are basically what PGI decided were ways to entice people to use mechs that nobody was using because they sucked. I mean, why would you take a 70-ton summoner out into the field when you could take a 75-ton Timberwolf with a lot more guns? The summoner doesn't have a lot of storage for weaponry, mainly because a lot of its weight is used up in its I'll show you. It's used up in these jump jets. Jump jet here, jump jet here, jump jet here. That's about 5 tons right there. And it's just, it uses that tonnage that you would rather use on guns. So not much can be said about that. But anyway, why would somebody take this? Well, because the quirks that they now have. As you can see, that list of quirk summaries, I'll show you on the loadout. This little drop down shows you that this mech has a plus 70% to its acceleration and deceleration rate, and a 35% turn rate, 5% to its reverse, 5% to its speed. It's got 11 bonus points to its structure. And basically what that means is that's the amount of hit points your center torso has after the armor has been stripped away. Once the armor has been stripped away, they have to chew through the amount of hit points that your center torso has. And center torsos, the inside torsos basically, well, it's not much. So they add, and it's basically like just having extra hit points. If you can think of the armor as hit points and the center torso as hit points, you add them together, that's the total amount of damage a person has to do to your center torso before you're dead. You can also see that this has a torso twist increase, a torso turn angle increase, and a energy heat generation, which means the PPC will run cooler. On the arms, I took the Prime variant arms because this Prime variant arm actually increases the velocity of LBX pellets, which means the pellets basically move faster through the air, and it also decreases the spread so that the you have a much tighter ball of pellets. And then it also has a ballistic cooldown of 10%, which means you can fire faster. The Prime arm gives bonuses specifically to PPCs. It increases the speed at which the ball of energy moves, increases the cooldown, so it cools down faster, and with the energy cooldown it has about a 10% total cooldown. And then this torso I picked because it's got the ballistic range cooldown and ballistic range and ballistic cooldown bonuses, so the LBX fires even faster and fires even further than it should. There is one that increases SRMs, but I prefer these weapons on the arm are my primary weapons. The SRM is just a backup weapon, basically. Okay, this map is Mining Collective. I like this map as it is very close quarters combat, a lot of buildings and stuff to hide behind. So what we'll be doing is basically sticking with the group, kind of scouting for enemies, peeking out. Just trying to get some shots on some enemies without taking too much damage back is the idea. Let's see, I'll head off here to this one squad and then I'll head forward. And this particular map is, as you can see, chock full of buildings that you can duck behind, get on top of as well with my jump jets. It is a map that is also conducive to night vision, as it's got a lot of deep shadows in it. I'll peek my head around here, take a look and see if there's anybody. I spot a large atlas. Unfortunately it's not popping up, so I represented as a DDC. It's not. It just actually has a EECM unit with it. But the fact that my team knows there's an atlas around here means that we can all get bunched up over here to try and push on that side. I take a small pot shot out there, one of the enemies poking his head around. I believe it's a quick draw. And then I push around back behind here so that I can take another pot shot, and there's that atlas again. And he makes me pay for sticking my head out there. As you can see, my torso already goes into red.
Warning, incoming missile.
And I duck back behind here to break a line of sight so the missiles don't continue to fall on my head. And peek my head back out around to take some more shots at that atlas and the quick draw.
New target acquired.
I tend to play peek and shoot around this corner a lot. I decided that I'll try and push around this way while they're distracted with my team over and around that corner, and try to get a little sneaky here. Get up top and try and shoot down. Unfortunately, because of the way my arms are set up, shooting from that position is not easy.
Warning, incoming missile.
Yeah, I take a few shots and then bug out. And push around, see if I can get that that Atlas, but it gets killed before I can get over there. So instead I take a shot at the quick draw again. And you can see my torso side is already open, so any more shots there will all be on my interior. And tired of waiting, I push through, because there's only the two enemies over here. And chase this quick draw around again. Take pop shots of opportunity, and then continue to push on this quick draw. See, I get a little hot there from so many shots, and my torso is starting to show critical damage. So many more hits on that and I'll probably lose it, and there goes my PPC along with it. Here I take a big old hit from a Ebon Jaguar that's sitting over there sniping. That was a... And there goes that torso, and my PPC along with it. So I'm down to the SRM-6 and the LBX-10.
We'll pull back from it, we're already winning anyways.
Target
And this annoying light, he decides to push up on me. Doesn't do much damage though, just more noise. I think he was expecting to try and get around behind me there, but because of the superior speed on the summoner, he wasn't able to. I was able to reverse and get up against the wall, so he couldn't get behind me.
critical damage.
My torso's open up here now, so I have to be very careful on that, especially with that Ebon Jag that was over here earlier, as he was a sniper with 3 large lasers and a Gauss rifle. I peek my head out here and just take some more shots, but then I realize I'm getting shot from that side again, and there's that Ebon Jag. So I have to duck back behind. Fortunately, my gun doesn't get destroyed. That's something that can happen if you've got no armor. Weapons and components within that part can be destroyed. So I still have my LBX, and I still have my SRM. And this is where our team pretty much just kind of pushes up and rolls over the last enemy, that Ebon Jaguar. I decided to try and get up top here to see if I can't spot him where he's gone. Let's make sure he hasn't ducked around this corner. And he hasn't. He ends up getting spotted around the other side. And we have 6 of our teammates all pushing over that way.
Target acquired.
And it's quite a sight to see actually here, with all these mechs just stomping forward towards his position. He must come around that corner and crap his stuff.
Target destroyed.
And that's pretty much the end. My damage wasn't all that great in this round, but I did support my team. I took a lot of damage, which means that other enemies didn't take it. So as you can see there, I did 381, which is a pretty decent amount. It's about what you'll expect to get in this mech with the lighter weapons that you've got. So have a good night.